Both guys can get caught. Both guys can get laid out. But who's going to get laid out first, in my opinion?
Pro boxing fans, we're here in London. Kevin Lerena, how are you, sir? It's been a minute. You're here for the Anthony Joshua-Dubois fight. How's things? How's life?
Everything's going good. Excited for the weekend. It's going to be big time boxing. You know, Wembley Stadium, Riyadh season. It's going to be massive.
Let's talk about this fight. You've faced Daniel Dubois, so you've obviously shared that experience in the ring. For Anthony Joshua, a lot of people have said, look, 96,000 at Wembley. He's been here, done that in big fights. For Daniel Dubois, he's fought Usyk, but it's a different animal. This one, he's back home, 96,000 fans. How do you see this fight faring?
Most definitely. This is a local derby in front of 96,000 people, whatever it is. It's massive. You know, I'm sure you've heard it. A lot of guys have said to you it's 50-50. Both guys getting hit hard. You know what it's about. I think this fight goes down to who's going to be the most elusive and portray the most skills to not get hit, because we know both guys can hit. I've never been shared the ring with AJ, but he's got destructive power. It's obvious. You've seen what he's done his last 3 or 4 fights, your last 2 fights. Look at what Daniel Dubois has done. Since he faced adversity against me, he's come on leaps and bounds since he teamed up with Don Charles. So truly, it's a fight where both guys can get caught, both guys can get laid out, but who's going to get laid out first, in my opinion?
There's a lot of talk about both men's power, like you said, and obviously you've faced Daniel. Just talk to me about the sort of power that he carries. A lot of people say, look, some fights have a thudding power, you know, others ones are, it's a more pinpoint power. What sort of power does Daniel Dubois have?
Yeah, he's got a thudding power, he's got concussive power, and you know what, even though obviously a lot of people talk about his right hand, he's got a very good jab. He's got a very strong and powerful jab, and I think he needs to utilize that jab in this fight. He's got a very good left hand. You know, not to say he doesn't have a good backhand, but his left hand is very good. He can control a fight with his jab. He's got a deceptively good jab.
In the fight against Hrgović, a lot of people are saying, look, Dubois, great performance of, you know, probably his career, but he was very open in that fight, took a lot of punches. That is Anthony Joshua on the other side. Maybe the result is different. Did you see that? And do you see that happening, that he maybe needs to tighten his guard for this one?
Most definitely. That's what I said in the earlier interview. They asked me what I think. I said he can't afford to get hit with right hands like he got hit against Hrgović. And AJ is a different animal. He's got destructive power. But I think Team Dubois would have made the necessary adjustments and would have worked on the defense to evade and to avoid that long right hand. But there's more than just a right hand in a fight. You know, I think AJ is very good at making the guys fall into his game plan and making the guys make mistakes. I think that's what he's doing a lot now with Ben Davidson. But having said that, you know, Daniel can't afford to get hit with those right hands like he took against Hrgović. But to be fair, Hrgović is a heavyweight. He doesn't have Anthony Joshua concussive power, but he's still a heavyweight. So Daniel took those punches relatively well, to be honest.
A lot of people are talking about Daniel Dubois' revival after he lost to Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk. We saw the great performances in Riyadh. But are we seeing something different from AJ now? We seem to be seeing a different animal. Yesterday I was around him, seemed to be very confident, smiling, which is sometimes, you know, on leading up to a big fight, shows that he's very comfortable right now. But are we seeing a different animal in AJ as well?
It looks like, you know, obviously I don't know AJ personally, but his demeanor, he's dialed in. He's 110% dialed in. He's dialed in for this fight, and I think that's when you're going to get a destructive AJ. He said he's not about that old style of trying to box and change his style. He's doing what works for him, and he's doing it well.
Just a final one. One of UK's great fighters in recent times, Carl Froch, has had his talk about this fight. He said, look, if AJ loses this, it could be that this is the end of AJ's career. Do you see that, or do you feel like what Riyadh season and Turki Al-Sheikh is doing, that maybe even if he loses this, there's still a Tyson Fury fight or other fights for him?
Most definitely. I think there's still very big fights to be made. You know, obviously there's a Tyson Fury fight there. The UK fans would always want to see that derby. It's very harsh to say, you know, when a guy loses, it's over for him. The road is done. I mean, because to be honest, if you look at MMA and UFC, those guys they're championship fighters with many losses, a lot of them. You know, a loss doesn't define you. It's how you come back from the loss and what you do thereafter. And AJ's testament to that, because look what he did since his 2 losses with Usyk, as well as his loss with Andy Ruiz. You know, people would have said after the Ruiz loss, maybe he's not there. After the Usyk loss, after the second loss, now he's done. Well, look what he's come back and done. You can never write a man off when he loses. That much I can tell you.
I do want to ask you about Tyson. You were in his camp last time around. This time around, do you feel like he's got what he needs to be Alexander Usyk? Great fight first time around, first of all, but you know, there was a time that where Tyson could have been stopped. There could have been a time where Usyk could have been stopped. But this time around, do you feel like Tyson's got what he needs to win the fight?
100%. You know, I think if Tyson makes the necessary changes, he can beat Alexander Usyk. You know, there's certain things that I thought Tyson should do that if he does in the fight, it will make it hard for Usyk. Having said that, Usyk adapts very well. It's a good fight for both fighters, but obviously I'm in Tyson Fury's camp, 110% behind Tyson Fury, in his camp, working with him all the time. I'm going to go out to Thailand, I'm going to give him hard sparring, going to take it to him so I can get him in the best shape for Alexander Usyk.
What did you make of Usyk getting arrested in Poland yesterday? I'm sure you've seen the video online.
Yeah, I was travelling. I don't know what to make of that, to be honest. The heavyweight world champion got arrested. But you know what? I'm sure he's not arrested anymore, and he's on his way to camp. But like I said, you know, obviously both guys are great for the sport. Alexander Usyk's great for the sport, but I'm 110% in Tyson Fury's camp, and I probably will be going back to camp with him, and we'll be going hard. I want to take it to him in a sense of, in not a disrespectful way, I want to give him the best of Kevin Lerena so he can show the world the best of Tyson Fury on 21st of December.
Are you going to be featuring on that card? What's the latest with yourself?
You know what, obviously I'm mandatory to fight Lawrence Okoli, but I'm not sure what Lawrence Okoli is doing. They say he's going to fight Riakpo. There's talks about him fighting Riakpo. There's talks I'm his mandatory, so he has to fight me. I've called out Jared Anderson. He's agreed to the fight, so that could be a good fight. I think it makes for a good fight, Lerena versus Anderson. You know, I told Spencer I want the fight. He's told his team he wants the fight. So Turkey Al Sheikh, let's make it happen.
If anyone's going to make fights happen in boxing, it is going to be Turkey Al Sheikh. So yeah, look, Kevin, always a pleasure talking to yourself. Always good seeing you. We will see you close to the fight. I think Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury are going to be there on Saturday night, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, good luck with everything, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you very much.